welcome to live FFA Cup action. It is round 4 in Victoria, and Hume City are hosting South Melbourne. What a huge match this promises to be. We hope you're enjoying the coverage live on the FFV Facebook page. My name's Teo Pellizzeri, about to be joined by Matthew McNamara for today's action. And what a game we have in prospect. Two of Victoria's most successful teams in the FFA Cup over its short history. And yet today, one of them will be bowing out. We've already seen one of the really big names fall. That was Melbourne Knights yesterday. They were knocked out by Altona Magic 4-1, I should say. A stunning result. And it does mean that Knights have already bowed out. Are we going to lose Knights and South in consecutive days? What a story that would be. Keep your comments coming. We're live and interactive. We can see them all coming through here on Facebook, so make sure you comment. We're also on YouTube today, so if you're watching from the comfort of your home and you want to plug it into your TV, by all means, go to the Football Federation Victoria YouTube channel, where we are also live. It is fantastic, thanks to Sportscast Australia, to be live on both platforms. All right, before we get to some of our early comments, let's welcome Matthew McNamara from Professional Football Consultants to the broadcast. Matty Mac, I think we're 6 games into round 4. It's being spread over last weekend and this Easter weekend, but this game jumped off the page as the one to watch.
Oh, it's a huge clash, Taylor, and a huge crowd here as well. Good Friday, certainly not much to do, and the crowd is here out in force, so looks like we'll get up around the 700 to 1,000 mark, which was a ripping crowd, and it's going to be a ripping game. Like you said, Melbourne Knights losing last night. You know, it might not be an upset. I think Altona's a very, very good side. So, but Hume versus South Melbourne, if we lose South Melbourne as well, after all the A-League hype and ambition, the talk we've had recently, it's going to be a massive game for them tonight at Sasha Coleman. I
think certainly when you talk about it, maybe not an upset in terms of the two teams, perhaps in terms of the prestige around the country, though, and Melbourne Knights being a former NSL team, and that's what you look for at Cup time. You look for the big names. How are they going? You know, the likes of Marconi, Sydney United, South Melbourne. Those are the ones that tend to get people intrigued in the Cup, and if we were to lose Knights and South in consecutive days, gee, that would be a major blow perhaps to the national profile of the competition, even though it would give an opportunity to a couple of other teams come round 7 to break onto the national stage. And as we know, Heidelberg is safe. They're already there. They've already qualified for the round of 32 by winning the NPL playoffs last year.
No, they did, and Hume are the FFA Cup specialists, aren't they? Every year they have a great run. They've never been knocked out, from my understanding, Teo, early on. They've always gone quite deep. I think they've been to the last stage on almost most occasions.
3 out of 4.
Yeah.
3 out of 4 they've made the national round.
They've done so well. You'll see the players start to emerge and the crowd pick up a little bit of noise, a bit of volume. The Clarendon corner with us today, Teo. I haven't seen them yet.
South fans have been travelling in numbers to away games this season, so hopefully that does mean that we will have them here today. All right. We're not far away from kickoff, so let's run through the teams as they line up this afternoon. Hume City with Michael Weir in goal. Number 2, Erson Kaya. 3, Zachary Secunda. 4, Mele Temguia. 5, Blair Govan. 7, Ben Leviticos. 9, Brad Blumenthal. 10, Attila Offley. 17, Gideon Sweet. 19, Oliver Kubele. And 39, Nick Hegarty. And for South Melbourne, number 1, Keegan Coulter. 3, Christian Constantinides. 7, Nick Epifano. 8, Luke Pavlu. 9, Miloš Lujic. 11, Brad Norton. 17, Iki Jawadi. 18, Matt Miller. 23, Matt Fascini. 27, Lemanopoulos. And 39 is Christos Inzidis. Matt, who's going to win and why?
Oh, very, very tough one. South Melbourne, they don't have the depth on the bench at the moment, Teo, so it does concern me a little bit, but in saying that, Hume's also a very, very young team. It'll be a very, very tight contest, and we see the two captains coming together, Blair Govan and Brad Norton. Look, I think we could be in for a long, long day, and we could very, very well be heading for an extended period and possibly some extra time today. So hoping for a cracking game, but I think South Melbourne will edge it, but it won't be too easy.
Here are some of the comments coming through. James says, come on, Hume. We've got Marie saying, going to have to cheer for Hume and Murray United. John says it should be a ripper clash. What else have we got here? Nick says, come on, Hume. We've also got Stan saying, word is if South lose today, coach is gone. Jeez. Plenty of international viewers coming in. Vicky says, how can I access the coverage on YouTube? You search for Football Federation Victoria on YouTube. I'm looking at it right now. and the live coverage is there as well, exactly the same as you are getting on Facebook. And we've also got plenty of people liking and commenting on the post. Some suggesting that South Melbourne can't last the 90 minutes, which is certainly a big statement.
But what happens if we go to 120?
Of course,
what will we see?
There's going to be a winner today, no matter what. It's extra time if we need it. It's penalties if we need it. Teo Pellizzeri and Matthew McNamara are with you for FFA Cup round 4.
It is a lovely day, Teo, as well. Normally it's quite windy here, but beautiful conditions as we're about to get underway. Hume City and Nick Hegarty, of course, their captain and coach, running the show these days. Just patiently awaiting, and the whistle does go, and Hegarty turns it over straight away. Jeez, it could have been some danger early on.
Attempted element of surprise there from Nick Epifano, but didn't quite come off.
Well, I'll tell you what, the keeper was 25 yards off his line. It wasn't a bad idea early on. It's a little bit of early nerves for Hume. Play a long searching ball forward.
And now over on the left side, it's being booted away down to Keegan Coulter. What a challenge for him, Matthew. Keegan Coulter gets, obviously, as we have a plane go overhead, apologies for the noise. But as far as Keegan Coulter is concerned, he was thrown in the deep end after Al Bray tore his ACL in round 1. He's had mixed results along with the rest of the team. Obviously, pretty tough times for South Melbourne, losing a goalkeeper in the first round. Transfer window doesn't open for quite a while. I think, what is his mindset coming into a game like today, given when you play for South, it's always high pressure?
Oh, absolutely. You wouldn't have been expecting to play this early on in the season. I mean, we were there round 1, Teo, ourselves. We saw that nasty injury to Al Bray, and we do wish him all the best. He's had a really tough time. But look, Keegan's a good young keeper. He's probably been starved of chances over the years. He's dropped down and played some State League 1, and he's been there or thereabouts. But this is a chance to put himself on the map. And look, I haven't seen him do anything too wrong yet. So, he's done well. And they've only got a young keeper on the bench as well tonight, South Melbourne. So, of course, can't sign a keeper until the transfer window does open again, and that's not for a long time. So, it'll make people a little bit nervous if Keegan was to have any injuries at all. But this man here on the ball, Teo, the central defender they've brought over from Greece, fantastic. He's been so solid.
I think that his initial reports were good. We'll stay with Monopolis here. He's got runners in the area. Monopolis beyond Lujic. Nick Hegarty sweeps through. The initial reports were good, but the Oakley game and also the Northcote City game, and they conceded 4 to Oakley, 3 to Northcote. That's rattled the confidence well and truly, and now he's being tested as well.
Maybe he needs me back watching him. Every time I've watched him play, he's been brilliant. So it's been quite good.
Ball rolled out to Christos Inzidis, the man we're discussing, and now Iki Jawadi. Great to see him back in the NPL level. And now Epifano. Hume City just happy to guard at the moment as the ball over on the outer side from our broadcast position. South Melbourne losing Marcus Schroen to a torn ACL, which was actually suffered in that FFA Cup semi-final against Sydney FC. Andy Brennan out with suspension today as well, so a couple of the club's big guns are unavailable at present. Lujic, the ball came off his number. Tim Guia thought there might have been a foul in there, not to be. And then he just coughs up possession anyway, Lujic, and it's cleared away. Ball goes out for a throw. Grandstand is full here at Hume City. Fans starting to line the fence to our near side. And even a few of the Clarendon corner. You called for them. They're here. They're behind the goals.
Yeah, they've arrived.
Where South Melbourne are attacking. Good Friday. The initiative's a good one, isn't it, Matt? It's the only game on in Victoria today. And why wouldn't it draw a crowd here at ABD Stadium where the venue and the food are always good?
No, it's a great day. I think it's a fantastic time for football as well. 5 p.m. on a public holiday. Start the long weekend. There's certainly plenty of people here. Plenty more tuning on the live stream as well. Look at these numbers, Teo.
Yeah, already off and flying. Of course, New South Wales have got a live NPL game today, and let's make sure we just beat those numbers. That's what we like. Through the left side, Brad Norton, and back and covering Secunda gets to his keeper, and not for the first time in these opening minutes. Michael Weir with a bit of a high nervous clearance. His mum always listens to FFA radio and watches the streams though, Matt, so we've got to be careful with what we say about Michael Weir today. Monopolis. Oh, through the legs of Temguia, and he finds Lujic. Now he's closed down. Good challenge coming in from Secunda. Epifano. And it's been played back to Pavlu. And now Konstantinidis. Plenty of people around the Victorian football community joining. Referee Chris Hope, Preston Lions coach Louis Achevsky, Dandenong Thunder goalkeeper Sermon Sadakovsky, Heidelberg United centre-back Serena Valays, Bentley Greens goalkeeper Ryan Scott. He loves this venue. He won a best on ground in a cup final here, Matty Max, so he knows what it's all about.
Graduated from university this week as well, Ryan Scott. So
University.
Shout out to Ryan Scott for his graduation
from TAFE.
University TAFE, you know, these days. He's done well. Pump him up, mate. Give the kid a chance.
Now, the main man in the FFA Cup, Liam Boland, of course, Avondale flying at the moment. They've got Werribee at Galvin Park tomorrow. He's watching in, but famous for his exploits with Green Gully. We will get to all the other games on. In fact, I might pick your brain about some of the results that have already come through this weekend, if you don't mind, Matthew.
Good result for us last night, mate.
Us? Who is us? For the viewers out there.
Oh, no. I won't reveal things too early. We'll keep the lid on for a little while longer.
Jawadi playing back and forth with Norton. Bit of safety first from South Melbourne at the moment. It's been a conservative approach through 5.5 minutes of this match. Now a long ball, hoping for Lujic. It's Mele Tenguia underneath the fall of the ball. He's able to deal with the danger. Now Fashini, turning into the challenge of Hegarty, able to keep the ball. And through the right side, he can't quite link up with Matthew Miller, and the ball runs away.
Can we recap some of these results from last night? There was some games earlier in the week as well, wasn't there?
Well, let's go right back. A couple of weeks ago, we had Banyule City 1, Essendon Royals 3. That's the game that got round 4 started. Obviously, both of them are in State 1, so
yep.
Essendon Royals, a former Victorian Premier League team about a decade ago, so they went all the way back down, started over in State League 5, and their climb back up the ranks continues.
No, they've done quite well, and I saw them play a few weeks ago in pre-season against Clifton Hill. They looked okay. Michael Casija certainly knows what he's doing as a manager, so good result for them to kick off the campaign. I think they start their State League 1 campaign tomorrow. The game last week was postponed. You see Hume pushing forward, driving down the left-hand side, but
a bit of miscommunication there.
Yeah, Konstantinidis did well to get in front, but a bit of miscommunication, as you say. Keegan Coulter just getting rid of the ball.
So it's going to be a throw-in. So that's Essendon Royals. Michael Casija, you talk about South Melbourne, how they would love to still have Michael Casija out there in his prime. What a player he was in the NSL era.
He was. But a fellow Serb leading the line, Milos Lujic.
And, they've got a flat ball. Well, anytime that happens in the NPL, it's a scandal. But when it happens in this competition, it's magic of the cup. anything that goes wrong, it's automatically magic. That's the best thing about it. Ball over on the left side. And now trying to find an opening. Deflected cross. Good work out there by Gideon Sweet. I saw him play in a game for Hakoah last year.
You commentated that game, Tab, against Melbourne City.
Hakoah against, it turned out to be an infamous game because it's the one where Bruno Fornaroli got injured. I have to say, the tackle that took him out and wiped out his ankle did not look as criminal as people made it out to be in the ensuing months, the longer and longer he missed as a result of the injury.
He was out for a long time. He was out for a very long time.
It was a devastating blow.
But it gave him the chance to sign Ross McCormack, didn't it? And what wonders he did when he was here.
Yeah.
So
it actually feels a lot more recent than it was, that game. Gideon Sweet was playing in it for Hakoah. Now he's at Hume City and he's on the ball right here. Hegarty, the follow-up. Chance for Hume. Pile-up of bodies. And now Blad Blumenthal plays it back to Attila Offley, and his first touch just abandoned him there as Pavlu comes across. Physical. Offley's handled the ball. He's lucky to only give away a free kick. It should probably be a yellow card to go with it because he presumed he was getting a foul. And grabbed the ball. Referee happy to use his discretion in the early minutes, which is what you like, Matt. No early yellow cards out of the pocket.
Adam Bavkar, is it, the referee today?
Adam Bavkar is the referee today. Probably, let's be honest.
He's not too bad.
Let's be honest, he should probably be in the A-League.
Who refereed Bentley and Box Hill last night? I saw a very, very harsh red card given in the first half.
Must admit, I'm not across who refereed it last night. I might be able to look that up for you.
I think I know.
For our interstate viewers, Bavkar's one of our best, I think. I think he should be in the A-League. He's not my mate. We're Facebook friends, but that's about the extent of it. But I'm happy to pump up his times. I think he's very good.
Well done.
Here's Ersin Kaya through the right side. And now the late challenge from Inzitis is enough to put off his cross, and it's a goal kick. Well, that's come to absolutely nothing. And that is an anti-climax.
You see him pinch the ball there, just start driving forward. He does quite well, but Inzitis just gets across and just does enough. You see a lunging tackle. Just gets in front, just impacts the delivery.
Sportscast Australia replays. Ioannis Zizis was last night's referee.
Okay. Geez, you know what? I think he's the same bloke who refereed Golden Valley versus Box Hill last week. You seen the highlights of that one?
Haven't seen the highlights of that one.
Craig Carley, if you're watching, mate, send through your clips of the penalties that were given late on.
Long ball over the top, possession yielded. Let's keep going through these results. We had about a week and a half ago, North Sunshine Eagles 3, Dingley Stars 0. Pretty comfortable win. Sean Ellicott was out there filming it for the FFA.
Yeah, look, North Sunshine, very strong squad. Shane Rexepi announced as the captain this year as well, former Hume City defender. Captaining North Sunshine Eagles, who kick off their league campaign tomorrow. Again, quite a strong squad. They'll be pushing to compete at State 1 team.
Ball played back to Keegan Coulter. Caulfield United Cobras 3, Boroondara Carey Eagles 1. Caulfield, I wonder if they're bringing out Louis Sahar this year. That's been the word for about 4 years now. Where's Louis Sahar?
Yeah. It was the big rumour, wasn't it, for a while? But never happened. It was a searching ball. And
we're off his line.
Does well. Watch the highlights of that one on Football Chaos. Great shout out to Stephen Gray. Does a great job, Football Chaos. So I watched that one, and they might have been a little bit lucky, to be fair, early on. So, but no, good result. Caulfield Cobras, State League 1. You expect them to win those sort of games?
We had the Thursday game. We'll get to that in a moment. Pablu, South trying to build. Norton is going to defer back to the centre. Miller. And now Brad Norton once again. Early ball. Bit of misunderstanding. Tim Guia and his goalkeeper shouting at each other. And now the foul is given. And it's Nick Hegarty who will likely line this free kick up.
It's within range, isn't it? See Epifano over the ball. Slight wind behind the back of South Melbourne as well. So Epifano standing over it. Doesn't look like he's about to line that a crack, but his body language is always very casual, Epifano. So looks like he's going to dink this one in the area. Looking for Luic. Inzitis. They're all in there.
Lots of talk going on. Epifano, it is a dink, it's Luic, and it's saved. Well read by Michael Weir off the head of Milos Luic. For a moment there, you thought it might have been sliding beyond his reach, but he's done well to correct course and dive down to the ball.
Well, I just don't think he got enough on it, Milos Luic. He wanted to glance it slightly, but it might have been too slight as Hume looked to capitalise on that as well.
Running through the left side, slight challenge, Offley deflected. Still a chance, Blumenthal up for the header. And now down to Inzitis. And it's shoulder to shoulder. End result is going to be a South Melbourne throw. First really decent chance for South Melbourne though.
That was, they did well. Good delivery and a good little flick from Luic, but again, just need a little bit more on it. So slightly unlucky. South Melbourne to regroup here with Norton on the ball. Free kick in the defensive third.
Jawadi going all the way back to Keegan Coulter. to nick possession away, Kublai couldn't do so. And now the back pass from Pavlu has Coulter moving.
Hume's starting to press, aren't they?
Creating a few nerves here. Now at left back, it's Brad Norton. Through the middle, South go. Minopoulos finds Epifano. Being chased. Unable to lose the attention of his marker, though, in Sweet. Cross in from Fashini, and Weir goes hanging off the monkey bars as the ball goes out for a goal kick. James says, I'm just here for some Coulter content. Chris Gleason says, at the airport, waiting for my flight, great coverage. Thanks for your company, Chris. David Smith says, watching from Hiroshima. Sure different from the bench. Of course, he's part of the Brains Trust here at Hume City. All right, next, well, actually, we'll wait for this Hume attack. South Melbourne retain possession. Jawadi.
Ooh, the tackle's starting to fly in now.
Hegarty foul is paid advantage. Hume won't mind that because they've cleared the advantage and they've retained possession.
I don't think South Melbourne were happy with the challenge on Zetas, and then they weren't happy at all with the next one from Hegarty either. So quite vertical. We get the effects mark out as well today, Teo. So
yes, yeah, it's a bit different to George Andrews' reserve, but we do have the same effects microphone going.
I think you turned it off that day, didn't you?
Had to turn it down at times. The Hawk is watching. Says, great work, guys. Watching all the way from Thailand.
Oh, it's a hard life for some.
Ball over on the right side for Miller. Escaped Sweet, ran out of real estate at the byline. All right, we've been running through the games played so far. On Wednesday night, we had the Will Ellis Cup, Eastern Lions against the Oakley Cannons. Oakley winning 2-0, fairly nondescript game. Any opinion? Do Oakley make their way back to the round of 32? They've been all the way to the quarterfinals a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they have. They've done quite well. I think we've seen them play against Metro Stars and a few other teams as well.
They won away in Adelaide against Metro Stars.
They played against Hume in a game in the FFA Cup as well here.
Correct. They were knocked out by Hume after they also beat the North Queensland Fury, I think, or the.
Yeah, Peter Psaros on great smile for Peter. Just take some great photos. Saw some great photos from Richmond's Melbourne last night. Well, who is Andy O'Dell coaching? Altona City, I think the synthetic Dodgers. Yes, well, a few staff changes there, I believe. I think Andy O'Dell's gone back there. So
Altona City no longer in the cup after they got drawn away to Hoppers Crossing and didn't like the sound of playing on synthetic. What did you think of that decision?
We'll get back to that. Can we get rid of these games? Can we go through the results from last night?
All right, Bentley Greens 4, Box Hill 0.
As expected.
Not unexpected.
Yeah, as expected. Bentley 5 from 5 in the league, and again keep another clean sheet with the game against Box Hill last night. Box Hill an average sort of NPL 2 team at the moment, so that one was expected. The big one, Teo, Melbourne Knights and Altona Magic. You know, Melbourne Knights an NPL team.
Oh, danger here for Coulter. He's able to keep possession. Hume's press is starting to cause a few issues here for South Melbourne. Of course, you speak of Box Hill, Keegan Coulter was their starting keeper last season. He's now been promoted from number 2 at South Melbourne all the way into the number 1 shirt due to that injury to Al Bray. And South Melbourne consolidate with Icky Jawadi. Now 4-2, I think I said 4-1 earlier, but it was 4-2. Altona Magic down to 10 men after John McShane got sent off and able to beat the Melbourne Knights. We did discuss that one earlier. South on the attack, Norton, Temguia gets a ball onto his toe in the way. Now Brad Blumenthal, Kublai can't get to the ball. And Pavlu just slows things down. Epifano. Weaving through Epifano. Taken out by Mele Temguia.
Okay, this is interesting here.
Who's getting booked? It's not going to be Temguia, it's going to be Ersin Kaya that gets the yellow card.
See on the replay, just picks the ball up and drives. So good about him. He's so close to control. Gets in front, yeah. Kaya just a leg across him. Referee right on the spot. Big chance South Melbourne, 23, 24 yards out. Bafano, Jawadi, Minopoulos, all around the ball.
So Ersin Kaya, first player in the book in the 19th minutes. He'll have to be careful from this point on. They've had a sider. Epifano went for the head of Lujic. Does he go direct at the target this time?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this could be danger signs here for Hume.
South trying to take the lead away from home in the cup. Hume City have only set 3 in the wall. They're going to add 2 more bricks. There we go. 5 in a gully. And then Michael Weir waiting on his line. No foxing from South Melbourne. It's just Epifano solo over the set piece. Epifano, great save by Weir. Great save, tipping it around the post. He may well have seen it late. He may well have dived without even knowing the ball was on its way, and it's out for a corner.
Yeah, just watching the replay, you see him step up, and he doesn't hit it very, very hard. He just placed it really, really well. And it's Weir just really unsighted, gets down late and knocks it away. So good chance for South Melbourne. Epifano, smart, didn't need to blast it, just place it.
Following corner, Miller out for a goal kick. You gave the shout out to Shane Rexepi earlier when we were talking about the North Sunshine Eagles. He's joined us on the live stream today.
Good to have Rexy, like I said, a former Hume player as well, watching today, and good luck tomorrow when your season starts as well, Shane.
All right, next result, Bulleen 3, Doveton 1. Braden Crowley off the mark for the Bulleen Lions.
The big story of the week is, weren't they supposed to be playing Geelong, Teo?
They were, but unfortunately Geelong played an ineligible player when they beat Doveton in the previous round.
Yes, I'm hearing an ITC issue, and believe me, I know all about ITCs at the moment, having put through quite a few myself.
Shout out to Joanne Pappas at the FFA, who does a great job.
What a job she does, honestly, to process the amount of ITCs she does. Very, very happy with her effort, so thank you to Joanne.
Oh, the poor touch by Govan.
Yeah, absolutely. They're outnumbered here, Hume, I tell you, they want to get rid of this thing.
Sweet is going to try and relieve some pressure, and that's
does well.
Clever from Gideon Sweet, Kubalay. And now Ersin Kaya. Bit of space to exploit here. It's a very big pitch at ABD Stadium. He might go all the way, Kaya. And then he played it straight into Enzitas.
It's a bad decision. It really is.
Lujic.
So much time and space to drive forward. And just that final ball. That final ball is where you make or break. It's a really, really poor decision to try and slip in. It might have been a Attila Offley there.
And one more result, which we haven't got to in the cup just yet. We've been building up to it for about 15 minutes.
Keep the lid on.
I watched the highlights of this morning, and just very intriguing set of 6 goals as Richmond at 6 defeated Heatherton United 0. So Heatherton bow out, State 2 team that had a decent run, but Richmond relegated from the NPL last season, and they're finding a bit of form in the cup in State 1. If I'm not mistaken, that's consecutive 6-0 wins because they beat Morwell Pegasus by the same score.
It is. So, look, we'll keep the lid on for now, and we'll see Offley break forward. Good timing for me.
Brad Blumenthal, left-footed strike! Oh, just wide to the right. Blumenthal nearly had Hume in the lead, and it took a deflection out for a corner. Hume's best chance of the game.
Absolutely, he does well. Good work from Offley. Just slips him in, takes a touch to his left, and hits it across the keeper. Takes a deflection. Just great chance. Probably the best of the game so far. We just clicked past 22.5 minutes. Hume with their first corner of the match.
Not the tallest team.
Not at all.
It's a
Set
low,
play.
Short corner as a result. Offley. And the ball, awkward defending. Can they turn it home? No, Temguia was there, Offley. And the end result is a goal kick. Well, scrambly defending. Both teams have shown nerves at times in this match.
Yeah, you see Kubalay just try and put a ball into the box, and just a little bit unlucky, a few deflections, and Offley, again, unlucky, the ball just bouncing back off him. But I think that was a set play going wrong, but they play on the fly and try to convert to something.
Just a reminder that if you want to control your own replays, you can go over to the YouTube channel because you can rewind on YouTube and watch it back for yourself. If you've joined us late and want to go back and watch the first 24 minutes, you can. Just go over to the Football Federation Victoria YouTube channel because thanks to Sportscast Australia, we have both on the go today, both Facebook and YouTube. Shout out to former Melbourne Victory A-League winner Grant Brebner, who's joined us on the broadcast today, and also the head of competitions at the FFA. I don't think he's the head of competitions, but he's probably on his way to that role, Dylan Potter. as well. Hegarty. Erson Kaya has been busy in this game. And now crunching challenge from Mickey Jawadi. Foul and an easy call for the referee who was right on the scene.
Very keen challenge from Jawadi. Hume send the big boys forward. 2 centre halves moving up. Hegarty, of course, his delivery, some of the best in the business. So we're going to wrap his left foot around this one. Blair Govan, an obvious target. You said earlier, Taylor, there's not a huge amount of height in this Hume team.
And Inzetis and Konstantinidis,
big boys,
for the most part, are very good in the air. Hegarty's free kick then. And it's cleared away by Fashini. Secunda will go and chase it down. Hume happy to consolidate. Well, we've been through the results that were. You didn't give me much on the Richmond game.
No, the lid's on, mate. The lid's on.
There's some exciting players in that team, though.
There are, and I'm sure all will be revealed very, very shortly. So, away to secure the Celtics next week, and then a huge clash away to Mornington.
Ball down the right side for Matthew Miller. He's building momentum, Miller, and then he just slipped at the crucial time, still able to win his team a throw, and the crowd show their appreciation as a result. Great to have Ryan Pachkovsky watching on, speaking about the Oakley Cannons already winning their way through to the next round of the Cup. Let's take a look at some of the Saturday games. It all starts at midday at Mackay Reserve. Canley against Springvale White Eagles.
That's a big test for State League 2 Canley, and the Springvale team has been doing quite well this year. Nick Kovacevic done a great job. I think that they'll be much too good for Kevin Thuma's Canley side. I know Kev's very, very keen manager. And
Kev is a regular viewer of our streams and listens to FFA radio, so shout out to him.
But I'm sure he'll be the first to concede it's a tough game tomorrow for him.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they're coming up a 6-2 loss to Melbourne City, Springvale. So here's Norton from distance and always rising. Whacking into the feds behind the goal. Clarendon corner still show their appreciation for the movement. So your tip is White Eagles?
Yeah, I think the White Eagles will be good there.
One of the lowest teams left in the competition. State League forward Truganina Hornets up against Gianfranco Impellizzeri's Whittlesea Rangers. This one is 2 o'clock at Arndell Park. Do you give the Hornets any chance of continuing their fantastic cup run?
Can I answer in one word? No. Don't think so.
Your magic radar hasn't gone off?
No.
Whittlesea's form's been patchy.
Yeah, but there's patchy and he's playing a league team that's 5 leagues below you. So, I think they should be quite comfortable.
All right, now, you are a critic of when I declare a match a derby. However, I believe that Mornington against Peninsula Strikers, 2 p.m. at Dallas Brooks Park, is a derby.
It is. It would be more exciting if Andy O'Dell was still at the Peninsula Strikers. I think he would have, he's got a real drive about him. I think it could be a big game for him. But I think Mornington will be too good. But that is a local derby and a bit of a British derby as such. So always very exciting. Should be a few tackles flying in.
Who do you like, Mornington or Peninsula?
Look, I watched Mornington's game last week against Manningham. They were pretty good. So I think Mornington will be too comfortable there in that game.
Norton venturing forward once again. Weighs up the options. Hume organised in midfield, trying to just stifle South Melbourne here. We're almost at the half hour. We've had chances at both ends. You feel as though this one isn't going to be 0-all for too much longer. And now plays it to Luke Pavlou. A start for Pavlou. It's important for him since coming down from Brisbane. Gene says Hornets will win 1-0. So some love for the Truganina Hornets in the comments.
Wonder if the radar says that, 1-0.
Inzetis. And he's given possession away. So you've got to credit Hume there. That's a tactical victory for them. And now Attila Offley trying to counter. Inzetis just uses his bulk. Play continues. Offley down into the right corner he goes and now finds the byline, but too close to Keegan Coulter. And I guess Hume will have enjoyed that last 30 seconds because South, a number of passes that couldn't penetrate the midfield and then the giveaway. But this is a different proposition. Lujic played through, trying to catch Weir off his line. A little bit too clever by half there, Miloš Lujic. If he'd just got a bit more elevation, it might have found its way into the back of the net.
I think he could have kept driving forward further as well. So a little bit surprised he's chosen to shoot so early. I mean, we was off his line, but he's, what's he, 6'4"? He's a big boy. You see the replay in the bottom corner, thanks to Sportscast. Great ball, releasing him in behind. Just trying to dink him with his right foot. That'll be the best option.
Oliver Kubele now. Back to Hegarty. We know he's a left footer. On this occasion, he's going to send it out to Secunda. Kubele once again. Able to evade Brad Norton. Hume stay on the attack. Offley. And not on the same page as Blumenthal. So, you like Mornington. Let's go to the next game.
Yep.
Mill Park Sporting Whittlesea merged club. Restored into the FFA Cup after Heidelberg Eagles were turfed out for, again, fielding an eligible player against Mill Park in the previous round. They play a team that their form is not great at the moment. 2 o'clock at Findon Reserve. How's your sense of magic for Mill Park against Sunshine George Cross?
Oh.
Mill Park in State 2.
You know what? That is up there with the windiest grounds in history. And if it's windy tomorrow, that place can do anything. And Sunshine George Cross, well, they're a team in disarray at the moment, aren't they?
They've conceded a lot of goals in NPL2 this year. I think they've conceded a 5, a 7 and a 9 this year.
Wow, wow. Look, I think they'll still win. I think on paper they're not, you know, they're better than a State 3 team or a State 2 team. So they should be okay. But, you know, Mill Park might be sniffing blood, won't they? They might be saying, hang on, you know what? We're a chance here, boys. Especially
given they themselves were knocked out and then restored. So they get a second chance. Shout out to Gianfranco Impellizzeri, who's joined our live broadcast as we crack 400 viewers.
GF, he's joined too late, mate. I told him his team's going to win already.
Of course, one of the more well-known figures around Victorian football. No relation to me, because our last names are different, just in case there's any confusion. Speaking of one of his former clubs, Werribee City against Avondale. Come back to that if Tim Guia can deal with the danger here, and even though Govan slips over, Gideon Sweet is there to recover.
I was talking to... Oh.
And now, Matthew Miller, this could be the moment for Lujic. Oh, Weir saves. And the South Melbourne fans throw their arms in the air in frustration because there was just no power nor placement behind the shot, and that is uncharacteristic of Miloš Lujic.
Well, I mean, the South fans throw their arms, so do the Hume fans. What's he doing? Going and giving the ball away. You see there, great touch. And Lujic, you know, you just can't miss those opportunities in these sort of games. Too easy for Michael Weir, straight at him. To find corners, and Lujic knows better than that. It's a chance gone begging for this South Melbourne team, Terry.
Matthew Miller is causing problems down the right side, though, for Gideon Sweet. He's on the run again. Has Fashini on the overlap. Ignores him, though. Rolls it back to Epifano. And Govan committed there to win the ball.
Much better.
Sweet. Can they launch a counter-attack? You feel as though South Melbourne are just getting on top for sustained periods here. Ball goes out for a throw. You see Sasha Coleman enjoyed that slide challenge over on the sidelines, the South Melbourne coach. So
Hume with a lot of numbers deep behind the ball as well. Just leaving it awfully up front at times, so getting in behind. But go back to, where are we? Avondale and Werribee?
No, yeah, Avondale visiting Galvin Park, 2 p.m. on Saturday, away to Werribee City. Avondale's, they are the team in the NPL.
They're good. I spoke to Zoran Markovski, their assistant coach, before. And, mate, they're a very good team.
I have some
big team.
I have some rules for FFV radio. You got to have shelter, electricity, and elevation. Sadly, I don't think Avondale have played too many games at grounds that tick those 3 boxes yet this year. But when they do, I'll be there because they are a super team. The highlights of their matches so far have been super entertaining, and their strike force: Liam Boland, Joe Canabian, Elvis Kamsoba. I mean, it's almost like a dream team, Matt, rather than an actual team. It's pretty amazing.
No, they're a very strong team. Very strong team. So they'll do quite well, and I'm sure they'll dispose of Werribee quite easily as well.
All right, next game, and this is interesting. It's Macedonia versus the Netherlands. Sydenham Park against Ringwood City. Sydenham Park,
yeah,
they have very great ambitions in State 1. Ringwood City, they're darlings of the cup. Or as we see, Monopolis and Tim Guia got a boot in. Lujic just looks a little bit off today. He's had half chances. He hasn't been able to score. If he can sharpen up, though, the opportunities are there. as Constantinides wins possession.
Did Sydenham lose points last week, or was this just a rumour that's floating around?
I don't believe that's I don't have any reason to put anything on the record.
No, it's just the rumour mill in overdrive. Player receives.
Ezel Hickman's watching, the head of FFA competitions. If you want to give him a shout out, so.
Well, definitely a shout out to Ez, top bloke. Good to see someone with a strong football knowledge in charge of the game. It's a rarity in this country at times, isn't it? But
just remember all the FFA staff we have watching on our live stream as well, Matthew.
Who have we got? Malin Cambardo, we can't.
Yep, Dylan Potter.
He's a football person. Mel, I don't know Dylan, but at least Mel's a football person in charge of the, what's his job title? It's about head of 300 characters long, isn't it?
I think he's the head of the FFA Cup.
Yep. Isn't it more than that? NPL?
NPL, yes, as well. Here's Miller.
Does a great job.
Great cross. Voyage, is this his moment? No, Temguia gets the header away. And now South Melbourne almost getting in each other's way, Epifano and Lujic.
Gee, they look average today, South Melbourne in that box.
But they
don't look organised.
They are still creating. They just haven't had the killer touch. Pavlu. And now Iki Jawadi. Almost into the last 10 minutes of the first half. Epifano and Lujic, poor first touch, but he's able to chase the ball back down. And then Epifano, a little casual. You're right, they just look that 5% off. Maybe they're not getting paid public holiday rates, Matty.
Possibly. It's a little bit of a struggle early on.
Here on this Good Friday blockbuster game. It has been entertaining so far, and maybe we'll get our first goal here. As the foul on Secunda leads to a free kick right at the edge of the area.
Another card as well. Look for the replay. You see it here. Jawadi just combining inside. Ball release. Well, that's a soft one. Possibly there, but Adam Bavkar right on the spot makes the decision.
He joins Ersin Kaya in the book to Zachary Secunda. They're the only two players with yellow cards today.
Yeah, not a huge amount in it, but he does well. Just watching again, another replay. He gets in front of him, bit of contact. Probably a fair call. And again, another chance now for Epifano from one of these set pieces. It's right on the edge of the box, isn't it?
They're going to give him the top left here. Michael Weir has set himself up and said, if you're good enough, pick out the corner. What is running through the head of Epifano? We went low and had one tipped wide around Weir's left-hand post earlier in the half. He also put one on the head of Lujic.
Jawadi there as well.
It's going to be teed up and blocked straight off the boot. So whatever variety they tried there, that's been the least successful of the 3 free kicks they've had in this first half.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure that was the right option. Maybe bending it around the wall. Epifano might be a bit better.
All right, so Sydenham Park against Ringwood City. This one's 2 p.m. at Keilor Lodge. Not too far from here.
Sydenham to be too strong. Not too far from here, mate. It's a 35-minute hike from here.
To Keilor Lodge from Hume City.
Mate, it's a fair crack of the whip. Give me a quick tip.
I would classify both as being in the northwestern suburbs.
Wow. I don't enjoy day trips to Sydenham, mate. I'll give you tell you, it's not a close place.
All right, next game, Melbourne City against the Eltham Redbacks. This is 2 teams in State 1, 2 o'clock at Knox, so they're playing at a neutral venue.
Yep, I think this one was initially scheduled to be played on Monday at Kingston's ground. Possibly, I could be wrong. But anyway, it is on tomorrow, you are correct. I have seen that, so tomorrow at Knox.
Eltham are used to playing on synthetic, so is that an advantage?
It certainly is. Synthetic pitches are very much a rarity here in Melbourne for competitive games at the higher level. If you look at Sydney, it's much different. But you know what? I might go. I might go there because 2 teams in our league. And
in whose league? Sorry,
I kept the lid on. I forgot. But no, it'd be a good one. But Eltham, I think Eltham are a strong team, so I'll back Eltham that one.
We've got Hayden saying, "Come on, back the Ringwood boys in." So there's a bit of spirit out there for Ringwood as they head to Keilor Lodge, the end of the earth, as you put it a moment ago.
Good to see he's excited.
We're well beyond 400, getting up towards 500 here on the live stream. Make sure you like, share, comment. We are reading the comments out. Hayden also says, great dive, and posts a duck emoji. So there you go. A couple of people not too happy with that free kick a moment ago. Anyway, next match. We're running through the FFA Cup on Saturday afternoon, for those of you wondering. We've got Mazenod Victory against Northcote City, 2 p.m. at Mazenod College.
Yeah, Northcote too good there. Well and truly.
All right, we move on then. I think you might say the same for this one. 3 p.m. Preston Lions versus Nunawading City at BT Connor.
Oh. Well, Preston, can they crack double digits is the question on my mind. They're a very strong team, but Nunawading do have Mas Madoka back now. See, Monopolis just outsmarting Hegarty.
Kaya had to be careful. He is on a yellow. Lujic. And now Norton making a great run. Brad Norton. Oh, it's behind Miller. Couldn't find his teammate. Promising build-up, but again, the finishing touch just abandoning South in the penalty area today. And now a tussle for possession. Miller a volley. Hume have got all the numbers, though. Michael Weir calls off his defenders and is able to claim the ball. And now at the centre of midfield. Hume are going to send it out to Secunda on the right side. Zachary Secunda rolls it back into Kubalate. Blumenthal hasn't had much by way of opportunity in this first half. Most of the chances to break forward have fallen to Attila Offley. And now it's a South Melbourne free kick, which means I can get your prediction for St Albans against St Kilda City. That'll be 3 p.m. at Churchill Reserve on Saturday.
Yeah, I think St Kilda might face an uphill battle. Yeah, that one's tomorrow.
St Albans, who, let's not forget, they made I think the quarter-finals of the FFA Cup back in 2014. They
played Perth Glory.
Got knocked out by Perth Glory.
They did.
So they've got a bit of history and prestige in the Cup. Moreland Zebras hosting Berwick City, 3 p.m. at Desheen Reserve. It's not often you see a senior men's match down at Desheen. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay there. Moreland Zebras are quite strong this year under Fausto Diamichis. And
the balcony's going to be rocking at Desheen Reserve there.
Will be. I think it's been redone recently as well.
Epifano, neat step around, keeping possession. Temguia, physical on Jawadi. And Hume able to withstand the South challenge initially, but Pavlu will keep it going. And now Epifano gets a second chance. Whipping it into Lujic over his head. And out for a goal kick. Into the final 5 minutes of the first half.
Some frustrated fans. Speaking of the devil, mate, Mel Impiambato does join us watching the live stream as well.
Shout out to Mel.
Absolutely. Like we said before,
do we have to plug PlayStation now that he's here, or can we ease up on?
Aren't they gone?
Yeah, I think they are. But
they're gone. No, they're gone now.
I'm so conditioned to just plugging them at every opportunity.
Can we plug the FFA's sponsors? Or is that not for the FFA Cup telecasts?
Hegarty, centre of midfield. Out to the left side, and Gideon Sweets. Now back to Blair Govan. All right, next match. We might get through these before the halftime whistle beats us. Murray United hosting Ballarat City, 3 p.m. at La Trobe University, Albury-Wodonga.
Absolutely enthralling, that one. I'm sure the neutral head along.
Kubalate, Offley, great chance for Hume here. Attila Offley, great save. Coulter gets down and parries it away.
Did well, King Coulter. Attila Offley was driving forward in the box, hitting across the keeper and get a big right palm to that one. Hegarty looking to play Offley, getting behind, but Norton too strong.
Follow up by Ersin Kaya. Able to ride the challenge of Inzidis, and it's out for a goal kick. Well played by Christos Inzidis. But Attila Offley, Hume have had some good chances.
Oh, they have. Offley has been at the centre of most of his years. Quite normally, he can be quite a prolific goal scorer. But Coulter, just that big right hand, getting down nice and low, just parrying it away. Very important.
We've got Archie Fraser watching, the former head of the A-League. Got the live stream hooked up through my TV, straight from the phone. Fantastic coverage. Don't forget, Archie, we're also streaming this on YouTube today as well. So you can access today's coverage thanks to Sportscast Australia through both Facebook and YouTube. So who were you tipping, Murray or Ballarat?
I'll go with the home side. They needed a positive result.
Great challenge, son. Temguia getting in. And now Hume. Well, if they can control the ball, they might be away. And they are. Jeez. Great touch down the left-hand side. And here goes Leviticus. And then he's closed down by a backtracking Jawadi.
And this is what you have when you have a right-footed player playing the left-hand side, always looking to cut back in their right. If he's gone on the outside of him there, he might have had a bit more of a chance.
Temguia, he's had a good minute. Throwing his body around. Hegarty, hoping for Blumenthal. He got to the ball, but not enough power to trouble Keegan Coulter with the header.
They've looked susceptible a little bit in the back, South Melbourne. I mean, no real clear-cut chances for Hume as such, but, you know, the signs are there, the warning signs are there. And
they're finishing the half strong.
Well, as everyone says, South Melbourne, you know, second halves this year haven't been too good. So we'll see what they can do to approach the halfway mark.
Who's going to be the first Gorblon to come up and try and walk around our broadcast position because the tunnel is being moved out? I don't like their chances. We've got suitcase after suitcase of gear. Anyway, it always happens. Next game, and this will be live streamed on the Lang Warren Soccer Club Facebook page.
Who's commentating that?
I've heard a whisper that maybe Dean Minear will be commentating Lang Warren versus North Geelong Warriors.
Dino.
Secunda.
Seems to be flavour of the month with you guys, Taylor, at FFA Radio.
As long as he doesn't drop the magic. Offley plays it to Hegarty. And whoever the ref is tomorrow, it might just be worth going and seeking out Dean and telling him to worry about the game as well. On the right side, shout out to the best sports scientist in the business, Shana Naidu, who joins us on the live stream. And the ball is turned out for a corner kick for Hume late in the half. Who's your tip? North Geelong losing at home to St Albans last week. Lang Warren about up and down form.
They started so well, North Geelong. They started so well. I was eating my words. I even apologised to Loose Training and said, I think I wrote you off too early. But, oh well, I don't want to write them off again, but I think Lang Warren could be in for a win tomorrow and advancing the cup.
Lang Warren.
Yep.
Okay, big tip from Matty Mack. Here's the corner. And it's comfortably dealt with by Brad Norton. Hegarty will get the follow-up, though. Able to leave Monopolis behind. Has his right foot into the area. South Melbourne able to deal with the danger. We've ticked 30 seconds into stoppage time. No fourth official today. So we'll all be left guessing. Kaya. And now Sweet. Offley. Snapshot created his own volley. And it's going to run down to Keegan Coulter. And with that, it is half-time and a very entertaining first half it was, but no goals. It is Hume City 0, South Melbourne 0. Matthew McNamara, this game is very finely poised. South Melbourne have had chances which they couldn't convert and lacked a finishing touch. Hume have had chances which have been well saved by Keegan Coulter. Who do you think is ahead in this game?
Well, it's very much an even contest to me. I think South have created some good chances. I think probably South maybe the slightly better chances. But towards the end of that first period, we did see Hume getting forward, Offley, Kaya, moving into dangerous areas. So we're up for a big second half as well, but 0-0 at the break. All to play for in the second period.
So we're going to jump off the microphones. Keep your live stream ticking over. It's both on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget it's on YouTube as well. So if you want to go back and watch bits of the first half, just jump onto the Football Federation Victoria YouTube channel. Matthew McNamara and Teo Pellizzeri live from Hume City against South Melbourne. We're off to our halftime break and we'll rejoin you in about 10 to 12 minutes for more live action in the FFA Cup.
now.
Through the right side. And now the late challenge from Inzetis is enough to put off his...
We'll keep the lid on for now, and we'll see Offley break forward. Good timing for me.
Brad Blumenthal, left-footed strike! Oh, just wide to the right. And the ball, awkward defending. Can they turn it home? No, Temguia was there, Offley. And the end result is a goal kick. Well,
rolling that one. I'm sure the neutral head along.
Kubelet, Offley, great chance for Hume here. Attila Offley, great save. Coulter gets down and parries it away.
Inzetis, they're all in there.
Lots of talk going on. Epifano, it is a dink, it's Lujic, and it's saved. No foxing from South Melbourne. It's just Epifano solo over the set piece. Epifano, great save by Weir. Great save, tipping it around the post.
You can see it's a tough game tomorrow for him.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they're coming up a 6-2 loss to Melbourne City, Springvale. So here's Norton from distance and always rising. Whacking into the 30 seconds because South, a number of passes that couldn't penetrate the midfield and then the giveaway. But this is a different proposition. Lujic played through, trying to catch Weir off his line. A little bit too clever, but is there to recover.
I was talking to...
And now, Matthew Miller, this could be the moment for Lujic. Oh, Weir saves. And the South Melbourne fans throw their Hume, able to withstand the South challenge initially, but Pavlu will keep it going. And now Epifano gets a second chance. Whipping it into Lujic over his head. And out for a goal kick. Into the... Welcome back to live pictures from Hume City's ABD Stadium. It's the FFA Cup and round 4 in Victoria. South Melbourne 0, Hume City 0. There has to be a winner today, so if we can't separate them after 90 minutes, it will be extra time as we get started here in the second half. South Melbourne now attacking the right of your screens and Hume City the left. Hello to everyone who's watching on the FFE Facebook page and YouTube channel. It's available on both. My name's Teo Pellizzeri, Matthew McNamara joining me in commentary. And even though we're yet to have a goal, there have been plenty of chances, and this game has promised a lot. It is slowly starting to deliver as well. Matty Mac, as we rejoin you for the second half, thoughts on the direction the game might go as these two teams try to find the breakthrough?
Matty Miller showing some initiative early on, just trying to drive forward.
Free kick.
Soft foul, but wins it well. Direction of the game? Well, let's see how South Melbourne hold on to. We talked about the first half. They've had some poor second halves this year. I'm sure their fans will be hoping for a bit of a turnaround on that tonight. But so far, it's been a little bit lacklustre. A lot of talk in the stands about this game's a little bit slow. Not too many clear-cut chances, but could be one here. Epifano, his delivery's been quite good. We'll see what he can produce. The sun in everyone's eyes, including that of Michael Weir.
Here's the free kick and headed away. Really dealt with too well. Fashini gives up possession to Oliver Kubele.
Offley just making a great run in the final third.
And now he's hoping for Blumenthal. Keegan Coulter is out of his line.
Kubele's thinking he's cut up a little bit earlier. He's apologising now as well to Offley. Should have gone out to him.
So for those of you who may have joined us during halftime, I will run through who's out on the pitch very quickly. At the next break in play, as Fashini heads it out. Hume with Michael Weir in goal, 2 Ersin Kaya, 3 Zachary Secunda. Both of them are on yellow cards as well. Only 2 players on the pitch. 4 is Meli Temguia, 5 Blair Govan, 7 Ben Leviticus, 9 Brad Blumenthal, 10 Attila Roffley, 17 Gideon Sweet, 19 Oliver Kubele, and 39 Nick Hegarty, whose pass here is hoping for Blumenthal. And out for a goal kick. South Melbourne, Keegan Coulter in goal, 3 Christian Constantinidis, 7 Nick Epifano, 8 Luke Pavlu, 9 Miloš Lijic, 11 Brad Norton, 17 Iki Jawadi, 18 Matt Miller, 23 Matthew Fashini, 27 Lee Manopoulos, and 39 Christos Inzidis. Benches for both teams. We're yet to see a sub. Hume, we've got John Tapia, their backup keeper, Mitchell Trajczewski, Jackson Morgan, Hayden Tennant, and Darby Dexter. And South Melbourne, it's a very inexperienced bench. Amir Jashari, Jake Marshall, Ben Jeeba, Josh Hodes, and Aiden Federhajic. So their Brazilian international Oliver Minatel is not available today.
We won't see the hand of Minatel today.
Of course, his only goal in South Melbourne colours came off his arm against the Oakley Cannons.
Any reason why he's missing, have we heard?
Through the midfield, Kubele. Hume growing in confidence at the start of the second half. Takes on Fashini, and Fashini is able to beat him to the ball.
Done well, Matty Fashini. Of course, as we say that, he struggles.
Boots it out. Little push for Gideon Sweet, who can see the funny side of it. Joel mentioning that it's former semi-finalists, these two teams. Of course, Hume went all the way to play Melbourne Victory in 2015 before getting knocked out 3-0. South Melbourne out 5-1 to Sydney FC in last year's penultimate game of the FFA Cup. I know it's only Victorian qualifying, Matt, but are you feeling any better about the prospects of a non-A-League team making it to the FFA Cup final? Could it be the year for Avondale, Marconi, one of these very well put together NPL teams to make a bigger run than what we've seen in the past?
Look, it's very, very hard. Professionals against, non-professional athletes.
And I think part of the problem is you've got to get there. I mean, for all we know, Avondale might draw the winner of this game in the next round, and then they might draw the Bentley Greens,
Absolutely.
It's hard enough getting out of your state, never mind taking on A-League teams.
It's all luck of the draw, isn't it? Getting as far as you can, but as we know with the FFA Cup concept, you're guaranteed one NPL team to make it to at least semi-finals. Adam Babka just bringing the ball back now. See if Hume to play or send the big boys forward as did before. Haggerty trying to keep possession.
So the sun has broken out across the ground here at ABD Stadium. Great crowd in. Good Friday initiative.
It really is,
from Hume City, paying off big time for them. Temguia's long ball for Sheeny. Had to be careful with the volley, but comfortable enough for Keegan Coulter. And it's been sliced out for a throw. Now, before the halftime break, we almost made it through all of the remaining ties in round 4. If you want to get out and see a game, theffacup.com.au. Plenty of fixtures in Victoria on Saturday. Blumenthal still moving and plays it to Sweet. He's very left-footed, Gideon Sweet. Bit of trickery, but he can't lose Matthew Miller. And in the end, he has to go back to Meli Temguia. Over the right side, Hume go.
It's a great ball out wide, isn't it, really?
Secunda. And then he gives possession away. Iki Jawadi. Play continues. Jawadi went to ground. Referee not interested.
Good tackle, son.
Pavlu in on Haggerty. It's physical again at the start of the second half. Still giving Haggerty plenty of attention.
Haggerty not liking it too. Having a little chat over Bavkar there.
Rolls it back. And now Sweet with that left foot. One of the most famous people in FFA Cup's short history has joined us on the live stream. The King, Kenny Athieu.
Good to have King Kenny on board. Against Perth Glory, he really stamped himself. Didn't he stamp his mark last year?
One of the great FFA Cup moments, that one.
Absolutely. Led to his loan move to Melbourne Victory. When does that expire? The end of the season?
End of the season.
So he's back to Heidelberg temporarily. It's a little tussle off the ball between Luich, who does pick the ball up now. A bit of a coming to briefly.
Epifano continues the run, but Meli Temguia found his feet again. Haggerty in, did well. And now he's looking to launch a counter-attack. Offley. Up against Konstantinidis.
Brilliant KK. Brilliant defender.
And Konstantinidis wins the free kick. All right, next match. 3 o'clock tomorrow, Mackay Reserve. It's the last Armenian team standing in the FFA Cup.
Brandon Park.
Yarraville hosting Brandon Park. Who do you like?
The only Armenian team in the FFA Cup?
Until,
is there more than one?
Until someone comes through on the comments with another one.
I had a spell at Brandon Park for a while. A good little club. Who are they playing against? Sorry?
Away to Yarraville Glory.
I think Stan Webster's in charge of Brandon Park these days, so he'll be no easy beat. I think that'll be a tough game. I think Yarraville, Paul Donnelly taking the reins at Yarraville.
Here's Pavlu, and now Epifano on the move. Danger here for Hume. Epifano still running, and he just overcooked it, but it's going to be blocked away. Miller nearly worked out for South Melbourne. Bodies on the line for Hume, and South should have done better with that chance.
They got very lucky. You see here on the replay, Govan just drops. Gives way too much room. The defenders just drop all the way back to their 6-yard box. Get very, very lucky. Guinea Sweet just throwing his body in front. Dangerous signs.
Make sure you like, make sure you share and comment. Let people know that you're watching the FFA Cup Round 4 from Victoria. We've had a great audience so far today. Lots of comments coming through. Ball rolled back to Pavlu. Now Norton. South Melbourne, if they can score first, would give them such a lift in confidence. Epifano, early ball this time. Weir wearing the peaked cap. Watches it sail out for a goal kick. All right, next match. Manningham United Blues against Mooroolbark. 3 p.m. at Park Avenue Reserve.
Manningham were worth their 1-0 win last week over Mornington. I think they'll continue that form.
Whittlesea United against Western Suburbs. 3 p.m. at Thomas Street Reserve.
You know what? I think Whittlesea United will give them a shake. They've got a decent team on paper. We played both of them in pre-season.
Who's we? Sorry?
Sorry, the lid's on. And I'll go for Whittlesea United to cause a small upset against State League 1 West Suburbs.
Now, this is genuinely a derby. This match, no dispute, it is genuinely a derby. 4:30 p.m. on Saturday at Saltwater Reserve. Point Cook against Hoppers Crossing.
Cracking match. I'm sure there'll be plenty of neutrals getting along.
The wet back pass, dangerous. Weir deals with it. I'm telling you, you won't need neutrals. This one will have 500 plus. Offley, down the right side. It is such a big game. Hoppers tried to buy it off Point Cook.
To host it, you mean?
To host it.
Just let's make sure we're very clear.
For hosting rights, yes, correct.
Okay, no worries. Well, interesting. Point Cook, I heard they've got a few NPL players there. I haven't seen their squad list, but heard a few boys have dropped down. But I think Hoppers Crossing starting one now. Should win that one.
Sweet. Leviticus. Oh, no power behind the cross. Just got nervous in the final third.
I said in the first half, you're playing a left-footed player, a right-footed player on the left-hand side. He gets in that area and he struggles. You can't blame the kid.
Hume trying to make it an end-to-end game. They've exchanged periods of momentum. Hume finished the first half the stronger. South Melbourne have question marks over how they run out matches. But right now it's South doing the creating. Epifano. Govan. Weir calling for the back pass. Looking into the sun. He's able to find his bearings and a teammate in Ersin Kaya, who's done well. He's done very well. Hegarty swinging it over to the right side. Secunda making a run. Can't keep it in. They were out the back there, Hume, as well. All right, Green Gully hosting Melbourne City. It's back here at ABD Stadium at 5 p.m. tomorrow. The initial chat was it was actually going to be a double header with this game, but instead
that would have been good.
It would have been great, but instead it's going to be a 5 p.m. kickoff back here tomorrow. Who do you like? Melbourne City, who went all the way to round 7 last year and did actually knock out Oakley Cannons along the way.
Whoever they're playing, who are they playing?
Green Gully.
Go Green Gully. I think Green Gully will have that one.
5 p.m. at Strathnaver Reserve, not too far from here. FC Strathmore against Brunswick City.
I've had a bit of a chat with a few people this week about this game. Danger game for Brunswick. I'm prepared to say it's a danger game. Strathmore, there's some good players that play at Strathmore.
And they're a club that plays for the shirt. I think there's
this is the
there
thing.
Is no doubt. They are, if you're looking for a club where people play for the love and the belief, rather than any other reason, it is a club like FC Strathmore.
And that's what, they're a great bunch of blokes, but I think they enjoy the social side of the football a lot too. So let's say that.
Ersin Kaya, no power behind the shot.
You know what? They can give Brunswick a run for their money. Brunswick got a 5-0 hiding last week.
Albeit by Moreland Zebras. All right, so who do you like, Strathmore or Brunswick?
I have to say Brunswick, my old club, but if you wanted my upset tip for the weekend, it's there.
Coulter has to be careful. Ersin Kaya, I don't know if he's got word that he's getting subbed, but he's running like a madman at the moment, trying to sprint everything down, as is Blumenthal, and he succeeds. Rolls it back to Kubalai. And now Hegarty. Sasha Coleman going absolutely crazy on the sidelines. And now Gideon Sweets. Can Hume capitalise here? They've got a bit of momentum behind them. Leviticus, he'll want his right foot. And rolls it back to Hegarty. Hegarty switches flanks. Looking into the sun, Secunda. Back to Temguia. The centre-back, Melly Temguia. Kubalai. Beyond the touch of Kaya, but Attila Offley will keep the attack alive. Still Offley, and then just lost control of the ball. Lujic holds it up, and South Melbourne are able to escape. Through the left side, Monopolis. Both sets of subs have cleared the benches. They're all warming up at the moment as we approach the hour mark. Scoreless in the FFA Cup. Reminder, there must be a winner today. Out to the left side, Epifano. Early ball for Lujic. This is where it's broken down for South Melbourne today, and indeed it does on this occasion. All right, give me your tip for Port Melbourne Sharks versus Pascoe Vale, 6 p.m. at J.L. Murphy Reserve. And give me your dinner order as well.
No, dinner tonight. I'll be one day of the year nice and religious, mate. So I think I'll stick with some chips and potato cake, something like that. So needs to do the right thing.
Possession given away. Lujic. Epifano. Play continues. Hegarty won the ball. And now attempting to play it long. Intercepted.
You know, I much prefer Higgs playing much higher. I don't. You know, he's a great footballer. Can play as a six in that holding role, but I really do like seeing him play that out wide, or certainly in that 10 role as well. He's so composed.
Erson Kaya, and rolls it to the right side. Pushed over.
Soft.
Free kick. Blumenthal wins the foul. So an opportunity here for Hume City. Matty Mack just making sure FFA intern Jared Fabryo gets the order right. We love his work. So
it's been a long day, Teo.
We've seen South Melbourne have 3 free kicks from this sort of territory in the first half. They couldn't capitalise. 2 shots on target. 1 saved. In fact, both of them saved. Hegarty here. Is this a different story? Is this Hume's chance to break through?
Well, it could be. Good angle for their footer. You see the screen there. Attila Offley and Nick Hegarty over the ball. Heggs the right on his left peg. Attila the right. More than likely, it will be Hegarty.
Hegarty, who's been at Hume for such a long time.
Blumenthal there as well.
All through the FFA Cup run. It's Hegarty. It's goal for Hume! Nick Hegarty has put Hume in front. And South Melbourne are staring down the barrel of elimination. A perfectly placed free kick, and Nick Hegarty has fired the home side into the lead here at ABD Stadium.
Well, he certainly has, and you see him wheeling away in celebration. Hume City take the 1-0 lead. It's Lemanopoulos who had the soft foul just outside the box. Hegarty stepped up, belted away in the bottom corner. We see the replay here now. Just wraps his foot around it. Across the keeper, hits the side netting, no worries. Straight in, wheels away. The Hume players love it. And have we got a game on our hands now, South Melbourne? Surely they can't go out this early in the Cup, surely.
We lost Melbourne Knights yesterday, and now South Melbourne are 1-0 down to Hume City. This would be an upset of sorts. They're 2 teams in the same division, and South Melbourne are away from home. But the day after the FFA calls for A-League expansion bids, if South Melbourne was to get knocked out of the FFA Cup, such a great vehicle for publicity, for attention. They went all the way to the semi-finals last year. And now Hume have a mandate to time waste and antagonise, and Attila Offley and Christos Inzidis resuming hostilities as a result.
Hume won't mind. I'll slow the game down now, no problems at all.
Adam Bavka has to get in and calm things down.
Soft foul. Babs, he let it go, then he started to change his mind, which probably caused him a few issues. But, wow, Teo, when you look at the bench for South Melbourne, it doesn't fill you with confidence. I mean, to be honest, nothing against the young. I don't know them. I don't know the names. So, you know, it worries me, but I don't think, looking at the crowd and seeing the vibe, I'm not the only one that's worried for this South Melbourne team.
Big crowd in, lots of travelling South Melbourne fans. They knew today was a danger game. Coming off a loss to Northcote City last week, there were plenty that were pessimistic about their chances. They have created plenty. They have converted none. And Michael Weir, looking into the sun, is going to have to shuffle here and get the ball away. Now, I never got your tip for Port Melbourne hosting Pascoe Vale, another all-NPL clash if you're looking for one of those.
Yeah,
in the Cup at 6 p.m. tomorrow.
Paco too strong. I think
they've had a checkered history in the Cup though, Paco. They got knocked out by Knox City last year.
Yeah, no, I think Paco too strong for Port Melbourne, to be honest.
Fashini, does South have the instant reply? Cleared away. You think back to their round 6 game against Melbourne Knights back in 2014, where they got knocked out. Then 2015, they got revenge, came from the clouds to win 2-1. Last year, they just marched through until they got Dandenong City, got in a 4-1 hole, and then somehow came back to win 5-4. This is a team that's been able to come from behind in the Cup plenty of times over the journey. And they have to do it again today.
They certainly do. We called it. They're not a second half team.
Of course, a draw would be good enough to get them to extra time. Don't rule that out. Still plenty to go in this match. Niam wants to know if he gets sent off in the cup, does it carry into league games?
Well, that's because he got sent off last night.
Well,
two yellows, and a name if you're there, mate.
If you get
two of the softest yellows you probably see for a while.
The rule is that it's called automatic for a reason. You automatically miss a game. Here's the ball over the top. Lujic a chance.
Yeah, so Name will miss next week's State League 1 game, is my understanding.
Who does he play for?
He plays for Heatherton United.
So it's State League 2 game.
State League 2, sorry, my apologies.
That's all right.
Geez, Name, I know you're there, son. The first tackle, what an absolute cracker of a challenge.
And thank you to FFA intern Jared Fabrio, who has delivered Matty Max in-game snacks. So thank you very much.
Mate, the young fella's a legend. Better than intern Pete. Have you heard about intern Pete?
I have heard about
He's
intern Pete.
much better than intern Pete, I tell you. Intern Pete causing dramas all across the country.
Well, we'll have to send Jared to Steve Smith's next press conference to see if he's better than intern Pete.
His Uber Eats skills are pretty good, so very proud.
All right, 7 p.m. at George Andrews, Dandenong Thunder against Brighton. Will Dandenong Thunder make it consecutive wins?
I think they'll have no dramas there, and again, probably good timing for this game, I think.
Hegarty, into the back of Ersin Kaya. Does this open the door for South Melbourne? Pavlu. He's going to go onto his preferred left foot, doesn't get any meterage on the pass, and then slides in. He loves a full-blooded challenge, Luke Pavlu. The ball spills, and Secunda plays it back to Michael Weir. There's no fourth official today, so we have to stay eagle-eyed for any substitutions. As of right now, it's still the same 11s that started the match, and we're 66 minutes in. Secunda, still full of running. Plays it to Blumenthal. And now Kubala. I like the way he just keeps the game ticking over. Leviticus. Cuts left. Fashini's in. Oh, Fashini with a physical challenge, and he's going to be South Melbourne's first player to get a yellow card today.
It's a silly challenge. You see the ball come out from wide from Hegarty. One-on-one. Again, cuts to his left. Just a late challenge from Fashini. He knows straight away he's going into the book there.
Especially given the quality of the crossing today, was that a necessary foul? For Leviticus on his left foot has been...
Well, we said his left foot's not too strong.
Yeah.
But again, dangerous area now for Hume. Hegarty, I'm sure, will be over it. Govan, the most obvious target.
Hume have struck once from a free kick. This is in a different position. As we said in the first half a couple of times, they're not the tallest team, but Meli Temguia has got himself forward. It's going to be the right foot of Kubala, and it's turned in! Hume 2-0! Blair Govan in the back post!
He's offside.
Disallowed! Disallowed! Blair Govan, wearing the captain's armband, thought that he'd made it 2-0. Not to be. South Melbourne rocking. But it stays at just the 1. How important could that be? Counter-attack now.
Don't tell me. Oh, wow,
Hegarty with a reducer. And what's the decision? Just yellow.
Yeah.
South incensed.
They're not very happy. Oh, there's been a knock there as well.
I'll
tell you, they're not very happy.
Yellow
Brad
for
Norton's involved.
Everyone's piling in. This is what the FFA Cup means to people. This is what it means when you're staring down the barrel of elimination.
That was a bad challenge.
Adam Babka has got a situation on his hands here, the referee. Michael Weir, that's great work from Weir. He's calming people down. He's getting his team organised. That's smart from the keeper. Just trying to keep it cool.
Brad Norton could be in trouble.
Norton did very little, I must say.
He runs from a mile away to shove Higgs.
But the shove itself wasn't too vicious. Assistant referee.
He runs from a long way away.
Coming in to have a word.
There's not much in it, but he does run from a long way away.
And the recriminations continue. Daniel Anderson, the assistant referee from the other side, has been...
She's used to the abuse. She can take it. She's brilliant.
This is big.
The Clarendon corner getting stuck in behind the goals as well.
Well, they had a front row view.
Be interesting. I can't see anyone going, but there'll be a few yellows, I'm sure.
We've had yellows out of this already for Hegarty and for Jawadi. Will there be more? And let's not forget, we had the disallowed goal at the other end just seconds earlier.
Here it is, Theo.
Game has exploded to life. Hard to tell on that angle.
Yeah, it was hard. Couldn't quite see.
discussion continues. It's drama in the cup. Luke says, Pow, just brutal. Ali says he's loving the entertainment, better than the ringside. John says TV ringside. Oguz says all ball. Not sure that's quite accurate. Liron says Hegarty goes bosh. So it's all happening here. The discussion continues between all three referees. Blair Govan, front row, listening in. The Hume captain. Brad Norton, the South captain. Adam Babka's just checking his book here. Might be about to add a name or two. Monopolis comes in to offer his thoughts. He's told to go away. Dean says that was a Kyle Kennedy tackle. Of course, you think back to the infamous sending off he got against Port Melbourne last year.
What a horrific ending to that game it was. Shout out to Nick Tolios, and
I think Tulsi's watching today.
Wow.
It's going to add a lot of stoppage time to the second half, this. By my calculations, we've already lost 3 minutes of play. All right, Adam Babka's reaching for his yellow card.
To be honest, they've taken a long time to deliberate over it. It wasn't that bad, really, you know.
Brad Norton gets a yellow.
Jeez.
Anyone else? He's reaching. No. I thought a card was about to come out of the pocket. They're calling over Christos Inzidis. And it's yellow for Inzidis. Crowd oohing and ahhing is... And now, who else is in the naughty corner? Hegarty's coming in. He was already booked.
He's getting booked again?
Don't tell me he's getting booked again.
He's gone.
It's red. It's red for the goal scorer, Nick Hegarty. So he was booked for the initial challenge that led to the free kick. And now, in the aftermath, he's been sent off. Hume's hero will have to leave the field.
I can't make sense of this. He's booked him for the tackle, fair enough. Once he's made the decision, he can't change it.
I'm thinking,
or can he?
This might be a follow-up to what happened in the aftermath.
It's a straight red. I'm not sure if we've got any replays coming through. See if we can find what Hegarty did, but jeez. We see again the tackle, the drive forward. It's a nasty tackle, but there's no
Here's
no
the
intent.
Thing.
It's a yellow. It's a yellow, right?
Pulls the yellow out of his pocket and books him straight away.
He's right on top of it.
So
Norton shoves him.
He's received a red card.
He's on the floor. He's getting walked all over. He's on the floor still. He's still on the floor. Still on the floor. He's not involved.
Not involved.
How's he gone? He's done nothing. He's walked away.
He's walked away from it. Well, I'm as confused
Adam
as you are.
Babka was right there. He's made the decision that it's a yellow card, and it's nothing more than a yellow card. I really hope he hasn't taken advice from his line out and changed his mind there, because there's nothing in that. And if there's something we've missed, then fair enough.
Well,
but
I mean, there's a
I'm really disappointed.
suggestion in the comments that maybe he kicked out while he was on the ground.
Not a chance. You watch it. Not a chance.
Anyway, Hume are down to 10. They hold a 1-0 lead thanks to the departed Nick Hegarty's goal. And now South Melbourne, after a delay of more than 5 minutes, have a free kick. And it's saved by Weir.
Wow.
Constantinides nearly had them an equaliser.
Wow.
Great header from Christian Constantinides. Michael Weir equal to it, powering over the bar. That's a great save. Headed from that sort of range. You need good reflexes. And now South down in the corner. Epifano, real drama in this one. Return ball. Epifano brought down, waved away.
Wow.
Big call, huge call. South thought they had a penalty. And now the acrimony continues. right, Blumenthal gets himself booked for descent.
See on the replay. Oh, it just went to a small box. It was a bit hard to see.
Here we go.
Over the top, Epifano. Oh.
It's a penalty, I think.
Oh, it looks, doesn't it?
It looks a penalty. So, I hate to suggest, is it a square up?
I didn't want to say it. But
You'd
gone there.
You'd rather have an equaliser than the opposition down to 10, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
End result is a corner. Hume still looking into the sun. Epifano's corner. And the header wide from Konstantinidis. Comments are flying in. Bryce Ruthven says, do I want to review my comments about Adam Babka earlier in the broadcast? Bryce Ruthven, who, of course, is part of FFA Radio. We love the banter.
Here they are. Here they are. Everyone getting involved.
Of course,
that was a penalty. This ref's on heat. Archie Fraser. Penn. Generally, Yildiz, if Hegarty has to serve a week or more for that, then the FFA is a joke. We can't be calling our employees a joke here, Tao, so we'll
says,
screen that comment.
Who said this guy should be doing A-League games? Yeah, thank you, Stan.
Well, the comments are coming in. 500 odd viewers.
Oh, make sure you like, make sure you share, keep commenting. Let everyone know how great the FFA Cup is. We have got a huge final 15 minutes, and there will be a lot of stoppage at the end of this one. Amazingly, we're still yet to see a sub. And at what point do Hume turn to their bench, Matthew, to try and consolidate this 1-0 lead? Because you fancy it's going to be all hands on the pump.
Let's go to the
right
benches.
Now.
Let's have a look. Who have we got on the bench today for Hume?
Hume City's substitutions available. We'll stay with this attack for South first. Oh, cynical on Epifano. Play continues. Referee might put that in the memory bank. Fashini out to the right side. Matthew Miller squares it back to Pavlu. Now Iki Jawadi. Norton. Epifano. Whipping it in, and Temguia only as far as Norton. And now Epifano again. And the header flicked on by Gideon Sweets. Corner kick.
Fashini. Take a delivery, the Claret corner.
Corner comes in. It sits up. Kicked away. Fashini whipping it in. And now a chance for Epifano. Through traffic, held by Michael Weir. All right, the bench. You called for who's on the bench. Hume have got Mitch Traszewski, Jackson Morgan, Hayden Tennant, and Darby Dexter. Anyone you'd bring on?
Well, not sure. Not sure. That's a tough one.
Kelly says, what about the second goal? No way that was offside.
A bit hard to see on our angle. Didn't look at live.
Konstantinidis. Game has just settled down. We've been through 7 or 8 really hot minutes.
NPL Victoria has to be the most entertaining league in the world. Alan Delich. Thank you, Alan. Jeez, that name rings a bell, Teo.
Great opinions. Here's a chance for Epifano. And cleared away by Secunda. And we're going as far as Iki Jawadi.
Oh, some good comments here.
Now over to the right side. Matthew Miller. In low. Cleared by Govan. Combining to get the ball away. And now Attila Roffley committed. Able to get back and help out in defence. Konstantinidis. And now Matt Fashini. As we tick down towards the last 10 minutes of regulation, but there will be plenty of stoppage time. Sasha Coleman urging his team on as things stand. South Melbourne and Melbourne Knights will crash out of the cup in consecutive days. Epifano, low ball, hopeful ball, no one home.
South just failing to commit numbers. We'll have to make a bit of an adjustment. You know, Hume down to 10. Let's push someone further forward. Not sure what attacking options they do have, though.
Tony wants to know if this is the old Coburg United. Yes, it is. Monopolis. And a deflection. Miller. And Gobin back to his feet to get it away. Pinball stuff.
They are coming, though. They are coming.
Konstantinidis. And a foul and a free kick. And shout out to Adam Varallo, watching from the Australian Institute of Sport campus in Italy.
In Italy.
His current employers, yes.
Big step from the FFA days. He was one of the better employees of the FFA as well.
If only they knew it, but now the AIS does know it.
Good on him, Matt. I hope he's doing well. Adam, thanks for listening in.
Doing very well. Jawadi plays it back to Norton.
Caleb Smith with the banter. Good friend of yours, Teo.
High ball into the area. Future FFV radio special comments man, Caleb Smith, just waiting for the right game for him to make his debut. Konstantinidis
still involved in coaching? Is he coach?
Yeah, he's still coaching.
Who's he coaching now?
He can put it in the comments, maybe.
Okay.
Anyway, we've got 2 more games in the Cup this weekend. 7 p.m. tomorrow night, Goulburn Valley Suns against the Northern Falcons.
GBS, thank you.
And Monday night at the Grange Reserve, 7:30 p.m. Kingston City against Dandenong City. Which
absolute cracker.
That'll be a good game.
Absolute cracker. Kingston, I'm sure Tolls will get the job done. Disappointing loss last week to Dandy Thunder, but I'm sure they'll step up against Dandy City.
Wow, so you reckon Dandy City last year's Heartbreak Kids will go out?
I think Kingston can do the job. We're looking at the sub for Hume.
Blumenthal off. As we mentioned, no 4th official today.
Back to the looking at the team sheet to try and figure out who's come on. The 14, Teo. Number 14.
Jackson Morgan.
Where's he from?
Leave it with me for a minute.
They are a team of the unknown Hume a little bit, aren't they?
Monopolis. He went to ground. Play continues. Lujic holding the ball up. Big turning circle, and it allowed Kaya to hoof the ball away. Corner taken quickly. Jawadi. And now whipped in high by Epifano. Konstantinidis. Header went the wrong way as far as South Melbourne was concerned. Now over to the left side.
We've got 7 minutes plus stoppages. So there's still probably another 15 minutes to go. I think you'll have at least 6 or 7 stoppages today.
I would have thought so. Alan Delich wants to know if there's a way to get a notification when Caleb Smith makes his FFV radio debut.
Oh, everyone will be tuning in for that one, Teo.
Just make sure you have FFV radio in your favourites in the Mixlr app. Of course, if you're enjoying today's live stream, make sure you like, share, comment, let us know where you're watching from. Jackson Morgan trying to get involved. Ball goes out for a throw. I'll tell you where he's from. He's from WA, Perth Glory NYL, and Florian Athena before coming over to Victoria.
Okay.
He's 19 years old.
It's good on the ball so far. It's been a while since we've seen the ball down here at Hume's end. And the last time it was there was the disallowed goal. So it has been quite a...
That was back in about the 68th minute. It's been 15 minutes holding out here. No pretensions of going for a second here. It's all about holding on to this 1-0 result thanks to Nick Hegarty's goal.
It's a 4-4-1 from Hume.
Ooh, Offley.
Again, he's caught him late a few times.
And Konstantinidis blowing up here.
Yeah, he doesn't like a KK.
He's got to be smarter than this though, Konstantinidis. You don't want to buy into the time wasting or the...
Yeah, well, Offley's got him a few times. Nothing major, just little knocks, and I think KK's just getting fed up with it.
Matthew Miller now. Epifano, walked away. That was Meli Temguia. And now cleared out to the right side. Offley, lone hand up top, waiting for support. Steps around Inzidis.
Very well done, son.
Left him behind, and now showing his acceleration. Offley with the cross, and it's a great clearance, keeping the ball away from Leviticus.
What an important challenge for Sheeny.
That was crucial, because he was running in to try and finish off what was a great move initiated by Attila Offley.
Wow, great challenge. Hume in absolutely no rush at all. Richie Cardozo, former Hume City player. Not sure where Richie's playing at the moment. Great coverage and commentary, lads.
Thank you, Richie. Darren says he's watching from Ballarat. Great to have so many people watching on the FFA Facebook page.
The time wasting well and truly underway. Oh, too easy.
Chance here for Ersin Kaya. Kaya. Leviticus. Blocked away by Norton. Good first touch by Ben Leviticus. Over to the right side. And now, with a burst of acceleration, he's still going here. It's Ben Leviticus. Closed down by Inzidis.
So very interesting, Teo. We've played 86 minutes. You're losing 1-0. You're playing 10 men. And they haven't made a sub. South Melbourne, have they?
As we said, a lot of youngsters on the bench.
It's just unusual.
No Oliver Minitel in the squad.
Yeah, it's just so unusual. 86 minutes to have no subs when you're down 1-0 chasing a game.
Hume are going to make a second sub, but not just yet. Matthew Miller. Legged. No free kick. It was Meli Temguia who got him. And now Offley's away. Keegan called it back on his line. Constantinides coming across. Attila Offley wants his right foot. Still going Offley. And he gives away a free kick for a handball, falling on the ball. And now the sub will go through.
Double sub from Hume, I think. The right fullback coming off.
Yeah, so that is Zach Secunda who's making way. And he's being replaced by Hayden Tennant, another defender. And the other man is Darby Dexter. Who's he coming on for, though?
He played State League 2 last year, I think, Darby Dexter. Hayden Tennant's come on.
They're going to leave him there, and they're going to make one sub after another to maximise the time wasting.
That's smart.
That's what you do in this situation. 88th minute. And now we wait to see if South Melbourne...
Attila Offley coming off.
Oh, he's just taking his time here.
This is the risk you take, though, when you make these sort of subs.
If there's
take Offley off, yeah, absolutely. You're taking off your real attacking outlet. And if they do score...
They've already subbed Brad Blumenthal as well.
Yeah.
Get the word out. South Melbourne are 2 minutes plus stoppage away from elimination from the Cup.
Centre half on.
Hume.
Very high line for Hume.
Have gone dangerous. All out defence.
They've flicked the button on FIFA, haven't they? They've got everyone back.
Inzidis. Jawadi. Oh, Constantinides missed the ball. Fashini keeps it alive. They've got to venture forward at some point here. Norton. They've thrown Constantinides forward, it seems. Players in each other's way. The clearance only a shallow one, though. Marie says it's time to park the bus. That's what they've done.
It's well and truly been parked, Marie.
And a foul.
Here we go.
Jackson Morgan.
Everyone up.
Inzidis gets forward. There's the Hume bench.
John Fatino says there'll be 8+ of extra time.
I don't think it's inaccurate.
With no fourth official today.
We're going to be guessing.
Always creates the fun story when someone scores the 97th minute. How long was there supposed to be?
So, a crucial free kick here. Epifano floats it in. Miller, it falls. Blocked away. Norton had the fresh air swing. Constantinides. It's a wall of red, holding South Melbourne out. And now played back to Luke Pavlou.
to get it forward.
Jawadi. Blair Govan standing tall. Konstantinidis. Now out to the left. Epifano. He's been so close to making something happen all afternoon. This one is cleared away by Meli Temguia.
Awkwardly.
And it's Leviticus who can't control it down the line. South Melbourne throw. They've got to hurry here, though. We're into the last minute of regulation. And the cross is lackluster. Kubalay comes through and clears. Now Jackson Morgan, fresh legs at the sub. It's a game taking place in half a field at the moment. Pavlu. We're all guessing as to how much stoppage. No fourth official. And now Iki Jawadi. Out to the right side. Fashini.
They can't do it, can they, Teo? Surely not. Not again.
Konstantinidis. Now Epifano's cross. And Michael Weir able to get there before Konstantinidis could connect with the ball. Viewers skyrocketing, get the word out there. We're in stoppage time. South Melbourne are staring down the barrel of elimination.
Well, it looks like we're going to lose both South Melbourne and Melbourne Knights, two former NSL powerhouses, two massive clubs.
I mean, for the big picture, we're watching every week. We know the strengths and the rise and falls of these teams, but for the casual fan that only tunes in at round of 32 time, it would be a major blow for the Cup to lose both Knights and South so early. Pavlu. Epifano. Fashini making a run. Shoulder to shoulder. Sweet. Fashini!
Oh!
Saved! Saved and blocked away. Konstantinidis! Oh! Saved again. Michael Weir.
Scenes.
Amazing saves.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's a great ball in. Oh, such chances. The ball in over the top here. You see it. Fashini gets in. Just scrambling to try and get the ball across the face of goal to Luic. Hits him on the knee.
Corner goes high and
Live action.
wide. Fashini again goes to ground. And it's going to be a Hume free kick. We've played 92. Just the 2 minutes of stoppage gone. We think there'll be at least 5 or 6. How about Michael Weir, though?
Look at this. Look at this. Great save. Deflects it down into Luic. The ball bumbles out.
Back to his feet and diving again to get a touch.
That's a great save, isn't it? That's brilliant. Michael Weir, fantastic.
And you think about that error against the Bentley Greens in the round of 32 last year in the Foxtel game. If there's someone who can stand to benefit so much from another cup run, it's Michael Weir.
They've got to hurry south. Jawadi can get the ball forward as fast as he can.
It's a physical challenge. Tennant, the sub.
They've got to get numbers forward. There's too many behind the ball. KK's got to get up. Got to
Doing
send
what he
up
needed
Brad
to do.
Norton.
Epifano, hopeful ball.
He's offside.
And
He's offside.
it's knocked backwards. Flag was up.
That's poor. It's sorry, Taylor, but it's poor from South Melbourne. 4 or 5 players behind the goal. Just not getting forward. There's no urgency.
3 minutes of stoppage gone.
I can tell you now, there's going to be plenty of unrest after this game, Teo. But his score remains the same way.
There's Nick Hegarty in the tunnel, watching on, hoping his teammates can get the job done. It's his goal that separates the sides and his red card that led to an early exit. 3.5 minutes gone. And Michael Weir just knocks it back to his fellow keeper.
They've got to get on here. They've got to get on. You see the camera panning 4 players, South players in their own half. There's no point being there, boys.
Flick on by Monopolis. Govan clears it away. The tunnel's being moved out. Some fans are heading for the exits already.
That's right, get it forward. It's the cry. They need to.
Jawadi.
He can make things happen, Iki Jawadi. But again, too many players behind the ball. Pavlu's going to push the box with his height.
Epifano to Norton. Blocked away. Ersin Kaya has been on a yellow card since the first half. It's been a disciplined game from him. Epifano again. Norton. It's a floating cross, and if it's not a goal kick, it's an easy claim. 4 minutes of stoppage of tick by.
Sliced it too much.
I'm with you, Matt. Why have they got so many numbers back?
That doesn't make sense. There's no urgency. They haven't made a sub. We've played 90 94.5 minutes, not one change.
And now just every time wasting tactic in the book. We're...
They're not even trying to go forward here.
It's been a half-field...
The bus is parked and it will not move.
It's been a half-field game for about 15 minutes. You can hear the whistles coming through. And now Kubalay. Precious seconds tick off the clock.
Ollie, protect the ball, son.
And now, as we tick up to 5 minutes of stoppage expired. Headed away.
They've got to commit numbers.
Darby
I just don't understand it.
Hume fans want full time.
There's literally 6 players behind the ball for South Melbourne at the moment. You see them on your screen. Get numbers forward. Surely we press on. We try and get an equaliser.
Chances running out for South Melbourne.
95.5 minutes, Teo. 95.5. There can't be much more.
Epifano. Headed away by Sweets. And well played by Kaya. Ironed out by Pavlu.
He'll be in no rush to get up. Ersin Kaya, he'll be there. Well,
this will be more time off the clock.
Ersin, be a bit smarter, son, surely. Surely you're milking a little bit there.
And with these seconds ticking away, it will now be 6 minutes of stoppage time expired. The reason for so many minutes, we had a huge delay in controversy which led to the red card for Nick Hegarty. However, there has only been 1 sub made for the entire, well, 3 subs by Hume, none for South Melbourne, 3 for the entire match.
That's it, I think. That's it.
It's over! South Melbourne are out of the FFA Cup and Hume City advance. Celebrations for Hume. Nick Hegarty's free kick goal. Enough to separate the sides. And even though he was sent off, it still proved to be the winner. Hume are through. This team that has benefited so much in the FFA Cup era, write yet another chapter. And for South Melbourne, it's elimination, it's devastation. And the FFA Cup loses Melbourne Knights and South Melbourne in consecutive days. There is a new order in Victoria, marching on.
I think that the celebrations at the end of the game and the commiserations you see on your screen, Keegan Coulter, this shows you what the FFA Cup means to teams now in this country. It's a huge tournament. The Hume players on screen celebrating like they've almost won it. You know, these games are huge. It's a huge day for football. South Melbourne, Melbourne Knights eliminated in consecutive days, as you say, Teo. But credit to Hume City, they battled, they fought, they defended, they parked the bus, they refused to be broken down, and in the end, maybe somewhat deserved winners.
Amazing pictures, Keegan Coulter with his head in his hands. And here's the thing, Hume still need to win 3 more games just to get to the round of 32. Here's the goal, Nick Hegarty's free kick. That was back in about the 58th minute, I think. 68th minute. Anyway, that was the only goal of the game. South Melbourne had so many chances that they didn't take in the first half. Second half had dried up. We didn't see enough desperation as they tried to find an equaliser. I mean, let's look at the big picture. What does this do to the FFA Cup to have South Melbourne and Melbourne Knights not just not going to the round of 32, they're out for the rest of Victorian qualifying. I mean, this opens the door for any number of teams to go to the round of 32 for the first time. We know Bentley and Hume have been there before, but this throws things wide open in Victoria.
It certainly does.
It could be an Altona Magic, it could be a Richmond. You know, you just never know who might go on a run this year.
Keep the lid on, Teo. Keep the lid on, mate. There's a lot of unhappy South Melbourne supporters around, I can tell you that. Well, the day after A-League expansion was announced, South Melbourne, who used the FFA Cup as such a powerful publicity vehicle last season, the coach who did it for them, Chris Taylor, left on the eve of the season, and it just hasn't been a happy camp ever since then. He didn't leave. He didn't leave. I think it was a very nice way of putting it.
Hume are going to get a hero's reception here.
Certainly are.
This is a club that was playing out of this pitch, but under a shed 7 years ago. They built a brilliant grandstand. Then they went on an FFA Cup run and built a brilliant club. They've built their fan base as a result of the national exposure of the FFA Cup. This is a club who really does owe so much of their success to what the FFA Cup has done in this country. And now,
so the reception of the South players get their walk in.
cheers will turn to jeers as South Melbourne, with heads bowed, have to leave the pitch. They didn't make us up today, South Melbourne, and they go down in a manner that will leave many asking a lot of hard questions. And the coach, Sasha Coleman, is second last up the tunnel. Marcus Schroen, of course, still recovering from that ACL he suffered in last year's semi-final. And then Lee Monopolis, the last to leave the pitch. That's it, Matthew McNamara. I think it was a pretty good decision to live stream today's game, because this is a huge story. Not just a huge game, but it's really been a huge story as well.
Certainly has, and congratulations to Hume City, from a club of mine as well, progressing through the next round. They are the FFA Cup specialists, Taylor. We called it very early. So you can hear from the effects mic the song being sung slightly in the background, but a lot of dejected fans walking out. But congratulations to Hume, and commiserations to South Melbourne. They exit very, very early.
So that's it for our FFA Cup coverage today. If you want to watch a full replay, as soon as the Facebook post live stream finishes, you can go back and watch there, or you can watch it all on the FFA YouTube channel as well. Big thank you to Andrew McLeish and Brendan Jones from Sportscast Australia, our production crew for today, and also Nathan Sakalario from NMS Media, best in the business behind the camera as well. Matthew McNamara, thank you for joining me.
No worries, always appreciate it.
And whatever your weekend plans are, make sure you join me on Fox Sports Australia tomorrow from 5:35 p.m. for Brisbane, Rory and Central Coast. That's where you can catch me before the weekend is out. My name's Teo Pellizzeri. Thank you for your company. That's it for this FFE live stream. Repeating that full-time score one more time. Hume City 1, South Melbourne 0.